Greetings warriors, FiOth here, and in this vid, my very first vid for Asterigos, I will be explaining the basics of combat for this new and very nice looking Souls-like. I hope the vids get some traction so I'll be able to work more on the game because I love it to bits. So far I've been enjoying it immensely. This guide was created on the demo version of the game, but the demo version of the game is the actual beginning of it, so there's no differentiation on what I'm about to show you. I just wanted to get a head start to have some work ready when the game releases. So, in this tutorial I will be explaining the basics of combat in Asterigos because it does some things quite differently from other games in the genre. Let's get to it. First and foremost, I am in the very start. I just got my weapons. Initially you only have your sword and shield and your hammer, and then you will get your dagger, staff and all that additional gear after you defeat a couple of enemies. Very early, very simple stuff. You go into your menu, into profile, and you see two weapon slots. This is the first thing that is done differently in Asterigos than in other Souls-likes. You have at any given moment equipped two weapons or set of weapons. Now I have sword and shield and hammer. If I go into slot 1, I can pick daggers, spear, staff or the bracelets, and of course in the second slot is the hammer and can be traded for any of these. You can do this at any time during gameplay. For the purposes of this one, we're going to start with the sword and shield and the hammer. Pay attention to the fact that we have some quick slots at the bottom, as you can see here, and I'm going to go into detail about on how to utilize them, but first we'll start with the simple stuff. In most Souls-like you have a light attack and a heavy attack. Let's say that this is the basic combo with the sword and shield. Now the other button I have for attacking, let's say it's triangle if you're using a PlayStation controller or Y if you're using Xbox, it's not actually a heavy attack button, it's a weapon 2 attack button. So this is my hammer used with the Y button on my controller. So as you probably understand, it's not a game about utilizing light attacks and heavy attacks, it's a game about utilizing two different weapons at pretty much the same time. So you can start the combo with the sword and you can finish it with the hammer. You can start hammering and then you can go in for a sword combo. This is a very interesting mechanic because you can start with bludgeoning attacks or with fast attacks from a dagger, and then you can transition to, let's say, swings with a sword. The fact that the game also includes a staff that gives you the ability to perform magical attacks makes it even more interesting in the sense that you can start ranged and then go into melee. Very intricate and interesting stuff indeed. Now you have two more shortcuts on your controller, Special 1 and Special 2. Now Special 1 is self-explanatory as you see it here because, well, it raises the shield, but Special 2 will actually put the staff in a focus mode, and then by pressing the weapon 2 button you can shoot it or concentrate a beam and shoot ahead. I'm using it as a secondary, but you can have it on the first slot of course and use it as your primary. What we're trying to focus here and make absolutely understood is the fact that at any given moment two weapons can be utilized in whatever fashion and chained into combos. Now what we have at the bottom of our screen here is special attacks basically, and here we have special attacks for the hammer initially. It starts a combo with the sword and shield and then transitions into the hammer. On A we have a dagger special. Now we're out of focus on the bottom right. We're going to drink a potion. It slowly refills so we can demonstrate. This is the Y ability. It creates a defensive ward around us by utilizing sword and shield. And then with B, we have a hammer strike that costs less than the combo that we started with, but it's just a powerful swing. It's not a chain of attacks. As you progress throughout the game, you will be able to empower these abilities, change them, and of course slot different stuff. We don't have access to a lot of stuff here initially because it is the very beginning of the game. So, to kind of go through everything once more to make it totally understood, you can have any combination of two weapons at any given time. Chain combos in between them. And you have up to 4 shortcuts for abilities from weapons, even if those weapons are not the 2 weapons equipped at that moment. Because as you can see, I have access to B, and B is an attack with a hammer. On X, it's a combo in between the sword and shield and the hammer, and it's still available here. The only reason you see it grayed out is because I don't have any focus points, and apparently I don't have any potions to fill it up right now. So this is the logic behind the battle system in Asterigos, utilizing 2 weapons at the same time instead of utilizing light and heavy attacks. This is the very basics of the combat system, and I will be coming back with more stuff. I will go in depth with the stats, and I will also make guides on builds, how to spend attributes, allocate ability points. The game, of course, boasts a very robust attribute point and talent point system. And then you can go to setting skills and setting perks. It deals in attack, HP, and this is speed, apparently. You get points, you spend them, and according to how you spend them, you can increase certain aspects of the character and empower those attributes. Here you have talents that you can spend and unlock various abilities. You commit to them, then you unlock them. A whole skill tree of abilities that can be tied to the shortcuts, as you can see here. And perks that can be unlocked that make building characters even more interesting, like build crafting in this game looks like it's gonna be one of its stronger suits. So stay tuned, sub, like, share. We're gonna go in depth with everything. I hope you enjoyed this vid. Give it a like and share it with your friend if you did. And until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection, people. Cheers.